it's our Victoria Day episode. All hail the Queen.
We already have an episode with that title.
Oh, okay. So we'll talk about queer artists then?
No, that's for our Pride episode.
Whatevs, Mike. The show must go on. The show must go on.
So go on then.
No, that's my line. Fuck. And then you do the intro.
Whether it makes you laugh, cry, scream, or fly, there's a song for every emotion. We're Mike and Priya, and we talk about the songs that make up the soundtrack to your life. Because life is in the lyrics.
Righto. Thanks for tuning into Life is in the Lyrics for our Victoria Day episode.
Oh, Jesus.
Where we celebrate Queen Victoria for giving us a long weekend. Am I right? Am I right?
You are kind of right, but I hope that this episode is not going to be with that faux British. You don't even sound like...
This is my obnoxious British person.
Is that like, were you trying to channel Bridgerton?
I'm not sure I was trying to channel any particular thing. This is the voice I used when I threw an afternoon tea party for my 6-year-old niece recently.
Oh, okay.
And so we were having tea and I was like, tally ho, right on, everybody have some tea. And then eventually she started doing tally ho. It was really adorable.
6-year-olds love that.
Oh, they're so cute.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mike.
Yes.
You're already checking your watch?
No, I got a buzz. No, sorry. No.
My God.
No. You know what I have to do? I have to put this on do not disturb.
Right.
I can do that.
Righto. Let's do that.
So what were you saying?
I was saying well, you know what? I'd like you to just ask me if I have anything interesting to talk about and how my week was.
Okay. How you doing, girl?
Oh, you know what? It's funny you should ask because I have had quite the 24 hours.
Oh, do tell. Tell.
Okay. Where to start? Okay, first I want to start. This is a little rant, but hey, everything I say is kind of a rant. Let's start off by talking about those stupid people who leave their gummies and their edibles lying around.
Oh, no.
And in this case, that stupid person was moi.
Oh, no.
Yes, that is correct. And I didn't leave it lying around. I actually keep it in a little Tupperware. And every night at around 8:30, that's my sleepy time, pill time. Mm-hmm. So I have a half of my piece of chocolate. And, an hour and 15 minutes later, I'm ready for bed. Mm-hmm. So I was taking it out last night and I felt a piece drop. So I looked around on the floor and I picked it up off the dog bed and I put it back in the container and I ate my piece. And I went about my merry way, went upstairs, was watching TV, and then came downstairs like maybe it was 45 minutes later to get some food for Casper and say goodnight to Kaya. So when I came into the living room, Kaya's kind of sitting there up. Usually she's asleep, right? Mm-hmm. She's kind of sitting there up and she's just sort of looking at me. And so I go over to her and I go to pet her head and she flinches. Mm. And so I'm like, it's okay. I thought maybe she was kind of half asleep or something. Mm-hmm. She keeps flinching every time I try to touch her, like massive flinches as if I'm hitting her.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what is going on? And she was not settling. Anyways, I was kind of concerned after like 5 minutes, she's acting weird. So I go upstairs and I wake Danielle up because she's been sleeping. I'm like,
a normal person.
It's like a normal person. Yeah. And I'm like, I think something's wrong with Kai. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, she's just acting weird and I don't know what it is. She got high. Yeah. She clearly ate a piece of my edible.
Oh, no.
I had to take her to the emergency vet.
Oh, no.
Because I was freaking out. Like, first of all, it's chocolate. Mind you, it was a tiny piece, like the size of, 1 digit of my baby finger. Mm-hmm. But still, I didn't know what would happen to her. And she's just being so weird. She's not focusing. She's like flinching anytime you try to touch her. She's clearly out of sorts. So I take her to the ER and it turned out she was okay. Mm-hmm. But they had to give her some anti-nausea medication, and we were there till like 2 a.m.
Oh, God.
Yep, like a fucking idiot. I could not believe.
Oh, my God. I am so sorry to hear that. I have had a friend who had a situation like that where they took their dog for a walk. They brought the dog home, And the dog was sleeping on the couch and it peed on the couch, which was very unusual.
Right.
And when they tried to wake it up, it was kind of like really dozy and kind of out of sorts.
Dazed and confused.
Dazed and confused. It was really dazed and confused.
I know.
So they took him to the vet and they said, your dog is high.
Yeah. How did she get high?
Well, one of the daughters of these friends of ours, apparently they have pot.
Okay.
And they thought it was the daughter, but it turns out they think that the dog picked up a blunt end from the park when they went for a walk. So it ingested like a blunt end. So,
ew.
Yeah. So when when we walk our dog, I'm always worried about her because she's a scavenger. She'll eat anything.
Mm-hmm. Kaya too. I don't think she would eat like a cigarette butt or a...
Who knows? They smell things and it's like... And pot is not... But pot,
Does it smell good to dogs?
Who knows?
Huh.
Dogs that like the ganja.
Huh? What is that supposed to mean? What?
Dogs that like the ganja.
Dog, is that a thing? Is that a category?
No, but you know ganja, you know how they say.
I do know ganja.
Well, maybe it's like,
Okay. Let's move along. Okay. Let's move along.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear. How's Kaya doing? Is she recovered from her overdose?
I mean, so today she got back at me a little bit because when she was finally feeling okay around 12 o'clock, I felt so bad. She was just out of sorts all day. But around noon, I finally convinced her to come for a walk, and I took her and the other dog, Toby, to the valley. And usually we do a little loop and then we go home. She wasn't ready to go home and she kept resisting. So does Riva resist sometimes on walks? Is she like,
No.
I want to go in that direction? No, eh?
No.
Kaya will just lean and then I'll try to pull her. And she's about half my weight, but she's probably twice as strong.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling and she's just leaning
resisting,
and it must look like I'm abusive on the street. But anyway, so she did that. And so I was like, you know what? That's fair. You deserve as long of a walk as you want today. So she went in the water and she was just enjoying herself. It was great, but I did feel really, really terrible. And I can't imagine your friends because they didn't even know where she got
and their
it.
daughter at first who was like accused, and then it turns out, no, it wasn't her.
It wasn't her. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. Oh, well, that sounds like a very exciting less than 24 hours, but...
That's why I'm talking very fast today, because I went to bed. I think by the time we got home, it was 2. We watched I watched some TV to just decompress and keep an eye on her for a little bit. And then I fell asleep, I think, around 3 a.m. and woke up at 5:30.
Are you going to be a little punchy in this episode?
When am I not punchy?
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes.
Yes.
What about you, Mike? Do you have anything interesting to say for today?
Don't say that. Of course I have something interesting to say.
How
do you have
I know?
anything interesting to say? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
questionable.
I know. We'll see how long it takes for your eyes to glaze over.
Yes, and I'm not even high.
No. Well, Dawn had COVID last week.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. People actually still get COVID.
I know. That's so weird to me.
Very strange. So it was an interesting week of basically, he stays on one floor of the house. I stay on the other. He's sleeping in one room. I'm sleeping in the other. The first couple of nights of having the bed to yourself, it's like, yes.
Right.
But after a while, it's like, okay, I did not sign up for a roommate. I want to be back to some normal, we didn't eat dinner together. He wore a mask when he was around. If we happen to cross paths sort of thing. Didn't like that at all.
Where does Riva sleep when the two of you are in different beds?
For the first couple of nights, she would come up and sleep with me. She'd start with me because that's where she always starts because we're usually in bed together. And then at some point in the night, she would go down and sleep with Dawn.
She checks on both of you. That's so cute.
Yeah. But I think she's more attached to Dawn.
Oh, why? Does he feed her?
Well, he's around more because his schedule has changed. So, yeah. But I wanted to also let you know, there's 2 other things I wanted to share with you.
Okay.
And they're both related. So you very nicely, just before this recording, you wanted to go and get a latte. And you very graciously bought me a cookie. Because I love cookies.
You're a cookie monster.
I love cookies.
I know you do.
I'm off sugar right now. Refined sugar, I'm off it.
What counts as refined sugar?
Cookies.
Maple syrup?
No, refined sugar as in like, well, yeah, actually everything refined. I'm off refined sugar. I'm not eating refined sugar.
So you're eating
no cakes, no sweets, no
fruit.
Fruit is not
okay.
refined because it's natural.
So only fruit for you. For how long and for why?
Fruit for the fruit.
Fruit for the fruit.
Well, I had an event to go to yesterday and I needed to dress up. My current wardrobe for work is very much jeans and slacks, and it's pretty casual, like business casual or even more than that casual. Right. So I had to elevate the look yesterday. So I went to go and try on my suit.
Too fat.
I could not get, so the last time I wore this suit, I couldn't button up. I could zip it up, but I couldn't button up the button. Couldn't even I could not even zip it up. And then, and I've got 3 suits. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll try this other suit on.
Different cut, maybe?
I could barely get it past my ass. Honestly, it was so tight. I'm like, well, there's no friggin' way that I'm going to be able to get this even close to buttoning.
So what did you wear?
So I wore a pair of nice chinos, a dress shirt and tie.
Okay.
And a sports jacket.
That works.
Yeah. But it highlighted for me that perhaps I need to address some of the weight gain. Now, when did I get this suit? Like these suits that I have a very nice Hugo Boss suit that I got as a birthday gift. And
how long ago was this?
I'm going to say it's got to be at least 7 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah. But it's like timeless, right? It's a nice dark blue suit. So you think
you should be able to wear it forever. Or until you get fat.
Yeah. So I'm off the refined sugar.
For how long?
Until I
fit in that suit?
Drop weight and I can fit in that suit.
Like, what's your target goal here? What are we losing? Like 5 pounds, 12 pounds? What's the thing?
I don't actually know.
Oh.
I haven't actually said. Okay, hold on. Let me think. So right now I'm about 187, 188 pounds.
Okay. What's your normal?
Which means I'm probably around 192.
Oh, so
I don't know. I don't actually. We don't have a scale. But okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lose like 10 to 15 pounds.
Oh, that's a lot.
No,
isn't that a lot?
I'm only 5'9". 175
pounds.
I know,
but on your frame, I feel like losing 15 pounds is a lot.
Oh, she's carrying it up front here.
All right. Well.
Yeah. So thank you for buying the cookie.
Now I guess I got to eat that damn cookie.
Yeah, I know. And that is.
Let me just dig into that right now.
You're going to do this in front of me.
No, I won't.
So yeah, that's what's.
Well, I will be very conscious. Does your drink,
you're
as I stare at your gin and Dubonnet.
Okay, so absolutely not. I probably should cut out alcohol as well. But the thing is, right now,
please rationalize. Yes,
the weather. I love this time of year.
Right.
I come home from work. I like to grab a beer.
Yes,
I like to sit on the deck, and I like to just kind of decompress from.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I don't think I'll be giving up the alcohol.
Yeah. Okay. That's what that comes down to. Okay. Yep. Chin chin. Oh, that's what I was saying to my niece. I was like, chin chin, darling, tally ho. Chin chin. Oh, she loved it. And my nephew just thought it was hilarious. He's 2. Yeah. He thinks I'm hilarious. Okay.
You are hilarious.
The other really bizarre thing that happened to me today. I get home from our walk. Okay. And there's this massive Amazon box on my porch. I'm like, oh, maybe Danielle ordered something because this girl canceled her Amazon membership.
Oh, yeah.
Back in January when butt face became press. Right. So, and anyways, so I'm like, okay, this must be Danielle. So I look at the name and stuff, but it says Priya Kaya. So I'm like, Priya Kaya?
Priya?
That's
dog
me
Kaya.
And Kaya. And it says my address, but it says basement. I'm like,
what?
Maybe I don't know. What is this? Did somehow somebody steal my account and charge them? But then why would they send it to me? I'm so confused. So I messaged my roommate. She's like, no, I didn't order anything. So I opened the box up, and the first thing, there's 3 things in there. 2 other boxes, really great packaging.
Yeah. Amazon's the best for that. They give those huge boxes with like one little thing inside.
Right. And so there's just air and they have all this paper to fill the air. I'm like, what is this for? I'm so confused. So I look at my Amazon account. Then just at that moment, as I'm trying to figure this out, I get a knock on the door. I go outside. It's the property manager, our landlord's property manager.
Okay.
So Gary's there talking to me and he's saying, oh, do you mind just moving your car for a second because they're going to load some stuff into the basement. I said, oh, are they moving in? And it's this older Indian man. And he says, oh, my daughter's moving in, but she's moving in tomorrow. I'm just moving in some stuff for her. And I said, sure, I'll move the car. Then he says, oh, and if you get any deliveries for Priya, that's my daughter.
What?
I'm like, your daughter's Priya? I'm Priya.
Oh my God, are you serious?
And I said, what's her last name? And he said, our last name is Kaya.
Oh my God.
Isn't that bizarre?
That is so weird.
I was tripping out for a minute. I was like, what is happening right now? Am I being punked?
Really? Okay, so your
downstairs
neighbor is Priya Kaya.
Yes.
And there's a Priya and a Kaya living on the main floor as well.
Well, yes, because that's me and my dog Kaya.
Oh my God, that's so weird.
So weird.
Weird. So that is very strange.
I know.
So
How
have you
weird
met
is
her?
it? How weird is it?
So weird.
Yes, thank you. Have not met her. She moves in tomorrow. Can't wait to see this girl.
That is hilarious. That's so weird though. That reminds
feels
me of
very
your mom.
odd. It does. Oh, can we talk about that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh gosh. So I picked Mike up on the way to record tonight. And as we're driving, my mom phones and it was raining today. So we thought maybe she's giving us the forecast.
She's coming for the forecast.
So
I answered.
Yeah. So we answer the phone and Mike says,
raining, driving, traffic.
And my mom's like, what? Oh, Mike?
Yeah.
Mike?
When are you coming to see me?
Yeah. She goes through that whole thing. And then after they're done their nonsense, then she says to me, oh, yeah, so they're putting Jenny to sleep today.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Jenny's
one of
her
my mom's cat.
Oh,
yeah.
I know. And here I am. I start cracking jokes, and little did I know she wanted to call for some consolation.
Oh, my God. Anyways, that was...
yeah. Anyways, okay.
Right, okay.
What else do you got? What else is happening? What's happening?
I do want to just ask you a question, Mike.
Yes.
Where do you stand on peeing in the shower? Where do you stand?
Where do I stand?
Yeah. What's your position on that? Oh, there. That's
Standing.
also standing.
I pee in the shower.
Me too.
Yeah.
Lots of people don't say they don't, or they're just not admitting to it.
Yeah, I don't believe when they say they don't pee in the shower. I don't believe them.
I don't believe them either. And here's okay. Now I know that people talk about this all the time. Do you pee in the shower? Not a very interesting topic in and of its own. However, today the reason I asked you is because I was listening to the radio and they had a doctor on to talk about, this myth of peeing in the shower being a bad thing for your health.
Why?
So he was saying things like, well, don't worry about it. The pee that comes out is it's non-toxic. It's sterile.
Yeah.
And and you
is
probably
all pee sterile?
Well, that's what he said.
Like all pee is sterile.
I mean, do we need to look it up? But that is what he said. He's like the pee coming out of your body is sterile.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're probably washing your feet afterwards, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I do not wash my feet.
What? What do you mean you don't wash
today
your
I
feet?
did, and that was actually before I listened to this segment. But
you
I don't
never wash your feet.
Well, I just figure like all the soap is coming off my
No.
body
Oh
and
my
going down
God.
to my feet.
Priya, okay. Do you know that?
I feel a lecture coming on.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know that
I didn't even finish
apparently
the story.
a lot of guys don't wash their asses?
Well, that's completely disgusting. Who
know why?
doesn't?
You know why they don't?
Why?
They don't because they figure the water rushing down with the shampoo and the blah blah blah.
No, it can't wash down through your crack and scrub it.
It's the same as your feet.
It is
you
not the
need
same.
to lather
It
up.
is not the same.
Yes, it is.
Because you're always moving in the shower, so your feet are moving. They're not planted in one position.
No,
so they're
Priya,
getting the runoff of. Okay, anyway.
Are you now washing your feet?
I did wash my feet today. I just don't wash them every time.
Do you pee in the shower?
I do. I already said that. But the other thing, the other reason he was saying was like, they say women shouldn't pee in the shower because it's not good for women to pee standing up. This is the first time I've heard of this.
What?
But apparently this is a thing out there. And he's like,
why?
Don't worry about that. I don't know. They say something about I can't remember
Thrush?
what bacteria or something like that. Anyway, so he said not to worry about that. But what did he say? He said the only thing to be concerned about if you pee in the shower is that you might condition yourself like Pavlov's dog.
Right, yeah.
So that every time you hear the sounds of water, you'll have to pee.
You need to pee, yeah.
So that I thought was interesting.
Yeah. How many times do you pee a day?
I mean, that depends on how much water I drink.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like
I think
6,
peeing
7?
is like you do it a lot, right? Like I would be surprised that if you heard water, if you didn't pee frequently.
We're talking about this longer than I thought we would, but please continue.
I think if you didn't pee frequently, then I could see how that Pavlov's theory would come into play, because you know, like,
it's
I don't know about
not
you.
the only time you pee.
Yeah.
Right.
I wake up, we have our coffee, and then that activates things.
I pee the first thing I get up.
Me too.
Before coffee or tea. Okay, that we should move on, right? Except for
let's get away
while
from
we're
that.
talking about peeing, just a slight segue to pooing.
No, we're not stooping to that level. We're not talking about poo on this
stooping
podcast.
to that level.
No.
Okay.
No.
I just want to know how you can hold your poo for several hours.
Listen, I don't want to get into this on the podcast.
We're in it now.
All I'm going to say is I don't poo in public spaces.
So only at home.
If only in a home or in a place where I don't have to share a room with other people. I don't want to hear people washing their hands, coming in and out, pooping in the stall next door. I don't need to hear all that stuff.
So you can physically hold it for hours. I can't even imagine. Yeah. Doesn't it start to crown?
Listen, we're not going there.
Okay, fine.
We're not talking about that. Right. That is just the way I am.
Okay. Okay. So shall we get on with the show? Let's do it. Yeah, okay. So our theme, our topic for today is Victoria Day.
Before we get into it, why don't we tell our little listeners what Victoria Day is? Because there are people listening from around the world.
I was just getting to that. But if you've got it in front of you,
I got it right here. Yeah.
Let's see if we pulled from the same source.
Okay. Victoria Day. So at the time of recording.
Oh, you love saying that.
We're recording right before the long weekend. So the long weekend is coming up. It's the first long weekend of the quote unquote summer. It's kind of like in Canada, it's the kind of kickoff weekend of the summer. I got to
interrupt you because they're going to listen to this after.
No, I know. But that's why I said at the time of recording.
Okay.
That's the point of at the time of recording.
But why are you saying that? Why can't we just say, so you're listening to this 2 days after Victoria Day?
Because like I want to like we're living in the moment. We're not living in the future.
All right. Okay, go. So at the time of recording, tis Wednesday. No, Tuesday.
Tally ho!
Ta-ta! I then taught my nephew ta-ta, and he was in his stroller going, ta-ta.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, he's a little queen. Okay, so we are recording this episode just before the long weekend, which is the first long weekend of the summer. It's when most Canadians go up north and open up their cottages, all that kind of fun stuff.
Official summer kickoff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so to kind of give some context to what is Victoria Day.
And who is Victoria?
Who is Victoria? Not a Spice Girl.
Also a Spice Girl.
But she is a Spice Girl. But this day is not named after a Spice Girl.
No.
Although it could be. Victoria Day is a Canadian holiday in which the British sovereign's birthday is celebrated. In 1845, during the reign of Queen Victoria, May 24th, the Queen's birthday was declared a holiday in Canada.
In what year?
In 1845.
That is not what I saw.
After Victoria's death in 1901, an act of the Canadian Parliament established Victoria Day as a legal holiday to celebrate on May 24th. Okay. Or May 25th, when May 24th fell on a Sunday.
You know what? I find it weird because I thought Victoria Day is always on a Monday.
It is. But that came later in the legislation, the Canadian legislation. Okay. So prior to Victoria Day being established as an official holiday, they used to celebrate the sovereign's birthday on their birthday, except for, who was it? George the Sixth. His birthday was in December, but it was celebrated in June.
Huh. All right.
So now, even though it's Victoria Day, I think we celebrate the sovereign's birthday regardless of whether they're Victoria or not. Obviously, Victoria's dead, so we would celebrate the King's birthday on this day.
On Victoria Day?
On the Victoria Day weekend. So
I don't think that's true.
No?
No, I think it's still in her name. It's not where, like, it never became Queen Elizabeth Day. It's just Queen Victoria Day. It's Victoria Day. Because she is known as the Mother of Confederation.
Yes.
She's the one who granted royal assent to the British North America Act in 1867.
Did you go down a rabbit hole of history when you started? Yeah. I started when I was looking for this, and then I started going down further, and then I started going down to like the history of all of these different markers in Canada's,
Yeah. Did you get to Laura Secord?
I had to turn it off. I was like, okay, I'm so
It's
far
too
away
much.
from too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
But did you know that she selected Ottawa to be our nation's capital?
What were the two choices? What did it narrow down to?
Geez, Ottawa and Penetanguishene?
Toronto.
Really? I was going to say Toronto, but I thought that would be too obvious.
No?
Should have been Toronto.
You think? Yeah. Sounds like a Torontonian would say that.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. All right, so shall we raise our glasses to the Queen? Chin chin, darling.
Here's to the
chin,
Queen.
Chin.
Happy Victoria Day.
You with your gin.
My gin and debana banana. Debana.
Dubane, and me with my decaf Americano. No, cappuccino.
Oh, good for you.
I need to sleep tonight. I can't have coffee after a certain time. Okay, so we are talking about... That was my clap to let's get this show on the road. Oh, you know what? Do we want to introduce our new segment?
It's time for a rant, baby. Is it gonna be you or me? Let's rant about all the big and little things that make us scream. It's time for a rant. So let's hear the rant.
So, little listeners, last week we introduced a new segment to our little podcast. This segment was inspired by rants in our catalog of episodes. We've decided to just dedicate time and share a rant of the day.
Yes.
Or maybe a few.
Or maybe 17. Yeah.
Yeah. And we want to hear from you. What's got your goat today, little listeners? What's something that annoys the heck out of you?
Oh.
What's that one thing that when you see it or when it happens, you think... Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting riled up already.
I know.
Already.
You really are the inspiration to this whole rant segment.
I love a rant, yeah.
So, little listeners, write in and tell us what your rant is. And we'll read it out on this podcast.
We sure will.
And then we may most likely share our thoughts and opinions on your rant.
I think we have to, depending on how long or short their rant is.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're going to have to comment
to
see if we agree or disagree.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had a listener that listened to our first episode where we had our rants, where we introduced.
Yes.
And he wrote in with his rant, and I decided to share it.
Share.
So this week's rant comes from a little listener, Daryl. Daryl says, my rant is the wokeness of society. Not everything is offensive. Get over it.
Oh, okay. Did he give any specifics?
No, he did not. But when I read that, I thought, that could really apply to a lot of different things.
So many things.
And depends on what you kind of mean by wokeness. Because I don't know what Daryl's context of this is. Like, is Daryl like a, right-wing, Trump-loving, conservative kind of guy?
Could be.
Is he somebody who's... maybe just a neutral guy who
makes jokes or who enjoys comedy and doesn't think that you should be offended at everything a comic says.
Yeah.
Or is he like J.K. Rowling, who is so on that anti-trans train that she rants regularly about wokeness?
Is she really on an anti-trans train, or has she been kind of pushed into that?
No, she is very vocal. She inserts herself into that conversation. She puts out tweets and stuff all the time when I think there was just legislation passed in the UK. I can't remember what it was exactly, but it was about the trans community. And she was applauding it and just, going on about the wokeness
So it was
of
against
society.
the trans community?
Very against. She's very anti. So that so many people from the movies, like Harry, Hermione, and Ron, or the real actors anyways, have come out to distance themselves from her.
I love how, Harry, Hermione. Yeah, never mind.
What?
I was going to say, I love how you used the actor's real name for the first one, but they're not Harry Potter.
It's not. Harry Potter is not his real name.
No, I know.
He's not actually a wizard.
He's not a real person.
He's not actually a wizard.
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on a second. You mean dragons aren't real and wizards are...
I was just going to go back to that. I can't believe we actually...
I need to go back to that actually because I want to tell you, I don't think I gave you enough recognition on the dragons episode.
What do you mean?
Because you...
I love this.
You
Continue.
pulled that... you pulled that lyric from Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And I can't believe, that didn't even come to me. And you had that. And I'm like, it's just, I thought that was brilliant. So I just want to applaud you for that because that, we're both big Taylor Swift fans. And that was not on my radar. And you obviously, what's the lyric again? Just fighting dragons with you.
I had the time of my life fighting dragons with you.
Okay, so what's your back to Daryl's
what's
rant.
Your opinion on this? It is interesting because it depends on the POV that he's coming from.
I actually don't I don't disagree with him.
I also do not disagree with him.
I find that there's a oversensitivity sometimes. Okay, let me backtrack. First of all, I don't really understand this term woke.
Me neither.
It's got such a negative connotation to it that I think that it blurs the kind of like the mission of people wanting to talk about equality or inequality. Want to talk about the kind of systems that are set up that put certain populations of people at a disadvantage.
Right.
So I think if we just lump everything into woke, it's just too easy for people to say that, oh, you're being woke. When really this could be a point of conversation and, what is the issue and how do we address it and how can we make things more equitable? That being said, I do find that when every single word that people say is policed, two things about it. One, education and people learning about issues and why certain things are issues takes time. So that would be one piece. The other is not everything is meant to be
offensive.
Like
he says.
Yeah. And sometimes people might say something that's offensive because they don't realize it's offensive. And so
also true.
Educating somebody about why it's offensive is one thing. But then also check your
privilege?
Well, no, it's check your radar. Okay. Like if everything you see is through a lens of offense, it's probably more about you than it is about what other people are saying.
That's true. You might have a bit of a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
But then again, your history and your life up to this point informs that chip, and it informs your position on the wokeness of society. I was just going to say, what I will say is, why do I say that? What I will say is, and here is what I will say.
What I'm going to say.
I'm going to just say this. I think, for example, looking at what's happening in the States where they're taking away all the DEI initiatives and everything, that is very, very to one extreme of the anti-woke argument, I guess you could say. And I think that is wrong, what they're trying to do. And all the safeguards they've taken away to sort of make the field a little more of an even playing field. So there's all that stuff going on there. So I mean, I think that approach to wokeness, I don't agree with, because they are taking away the stuff that's making things equal for people in many ways.
I feel like I've talked so
Look,
much.
to me, it feels like it's all about the intent. I do agree that, like, I don't know. So I don't know where I stand on this.
Well, just before we had this conversation, we were making a joke about talking to your mom.
Right.
And I used an Indian language. Like I was trying to mimic your mom. I was like, raining, driving, traffic, right?
It's very accurate.
So I think what Daryl is saying is some people like this extreme of wokeness would be like,
that's offensive.
You can't do that. That's offensive.
And meanwhile, my mom thought it was hilarious.
She did. Right. Yeah. So that I think sums up where I stand with it.
Okay. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm with that. Anyways. Okay. All right. That was a great rant. Thank you for sending that in, Daryl. Keep it coming, folks. And how did you like our little jingle for the rant segment?
Yeah, it's a new one. And so we'd love your feedback on that. All right. And how would our little listeners give us this feedback?
Well, you can slide into our DMs on Instagram at The Little Podcast. That's LIITL podcast. Or
you can send us an email at lifeisinthelyrics@gmail.com.
Right. Okay. So now, we've talked a lot.
I know.
And we haven't talked about any of the songs. Let's talk about Queens and songs.
Okay. Well,
what is happening?
No, I was thinking about when I was preparing for this, I was thinking about, okay.
Did you prepare for this? Because it doesn't sound like it.
You bitch. I did.
Okay, please tell me.
I did.
Lay it on me.
I was thinking, okay, well, we could just talk about the Queen.
Mm-hmm. What's there to say about her?
I don't know. She wasn't very musical, was she?
She was dead long before we got here.
No, she wasn't. She only died
you
2
mean that
years
Queen?
ago.
But we're celebrating Queen Victoria.
That's true, yeah. Well, we could talk about the band Queen.
Yes. Okay. I do need to talk about this because you said, we can't do that. I don't want to talk about the band Queen for the whole episode. Because, why? Say what you said.
No, I'm not going to say
Say
that.
it.
No.
Say it.
No.
Don't make me say it.
I do like them. I don't like them enough to talk about a whole episode.
Right.
And the reality is, quite frankly, I'm intimidated by talking about that band because there's been a documentary about them and there's people that are experts know about this band. What do I have to say that's going to contribute to this conversation?
Our entire podcast, we could say that about every episode.
That is true.
We could say, like we talked about Duran Duran, we could say that about that episode, or you too. We are not experts. Obviously, we're just giving our opinions. So I was very shocked when you said you're not that big of a fan of Queen.
I do like some Queen, but I don't think I know enough of their catalog to be able to talk about them for an hour.
That is an excellent point because I am a big fan of theirs, but I did not know how big their catalog is. Mm-hmm. So when I looked up top Queen songs, Rolling Stone had a list, all these different places had a list. Billboard had a list of top Queen songs. I didn't even know the first 17.
Oh, God.
17 titles that I was like, what is this song? Are they talking about a different band? Finally, they got to Bohemian Rhapsody. I was like, check.
I know that.
I know that one. But when I think about the songs that they have, their music was, it was genre defying, right? Because you can't really say, if you listen to Bohemian Rhapsody, Somebody to Love, Who Wants to Live Forever?
Who wants to live forever?
Who wants to live forever? Who wants to live? You don't know that song?
No, I don't.
Forever. It was for the Highlander movie. It's a
I don't know
cool
that.
song. But if you listen to those 3 songs, I don't think you would say the same band sung all 3 of them because they're so diverse musically.
Well, but their popular songs were very similar.
Somebody to Love is not really anything like Bohemian Rhapsody or Radio Gaga.
Not Radio Gaga.
I'd say Bohemian Rhapsody and Radio Gaga are
what's
more
that?
like.
Having a good time, having a good time. Da 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 da.
Yeah, I don't know what that song is off the hand. It's not You're My Best Friend, is it?
No.
You're my best friend. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I can't think of that one.
Yeah, but I think there is like something about their songs that does connect, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Another One Bites the Dust. Like,
yeah,
I just find them all so unique and original sounding that's what I find fascinating about this band. But we're not limiting it to talking about them.
But we're not going to talk about Queen for the episode.
No, we're not going to only talk about Queen. But I have only 2 other songs that I thought kind of jumped out to me because they bring back a lot of memories. Caribbean Queen.
Oh, Caribbean Queen.
We do not say it like that. That's the woke in me is offended.
That's the way I heard it when I first heard that song.
Really?
It's like Caribbean Queen.
Oh.
How she's in the same dream.
Are we sharing the same dream? I think it is. Are we sharing the
same as
one? No more love on
Who
the
was
run.
that sang it?
I knew this. Oh.
Caribbean Queen.
Frank something. Frank Ocean.
No.
Frank.
Not Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean is like 32 years old.
Billy Ocean. God damn it. I knew I had.
Oh, okay. I was
very close.
Yeah.
Is Frank
Frank's
his son?
dad.
Was it really?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So that song, because it reminds me of high school, is a good one.
Yeah,
and
that is a good one.
Dancing Queen.
Oh, of course.
Right?
Dancing Queen.
What does that make you think of?
ABBA?
Okay. Obviously. But I mean, doesn't it make you just think of being on vacation? You can dance.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is a song you will hear at clubs.
Every resort, wedding. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is just a standard.
Yeah, see when I think of that, I think of the Mamma Mia movie.
Mamma Mia, here we go again. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's in
because
there?
it was because they sang it in the Mamma Mia movie.
Right, because it's an ABBA movie.
I know.
And
I know,
they
but
sang
that's
a
you
lot
said
of
what
ABBA
does it
songs.
remind you of? That's what it reminds me of.
That's
Yeah.
what
It doesn't remind me of vacation, but I can totally see your point.
But you've been to Puerto Vallarta a few times, don't you? Like when you went
There are
to
a
clubs
lot
there?
of dancing queens there.
Well, there's a lot. You were one of them.
Yes, I was.
Oh,
yeah.
good for you. Okay.
So some of the Queen related songs that I was thinking of was Juice Newton, Playing with the Queen of Hearts.
Oh, yeah.
And no one really smarts. Joker is the only fool. Do anything for you.
Oh, that's a good one.
And that was 1981 that song came out.
Oh, boy.
So how old were you in 1981?
I would be 9.
Oh, that was good.
Why?
I was just about to say, I don't know why I asked that question in our episodes, because it's like calculating how old we are,
Right.
how long we've known each other.
Yeah, we still haven't figured that one out.
Yeah.
We're no good at math.
I
But
had-
we pretty.
I had Dancing Queen on my.
Oh, did you? Well, what were you going to say about it?
No, I just had that as one of the songs that what year was that? What year did that come out?
Oh, I didn't write that down.
76.
Oh. Yeah, well, ABBA, right?
Yeah. What?
Disco.
You're 73?
Yeah.
So you were only 3 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy, though, that still feels like a song I grew up with? Even though it came out like when I was 3 years old.
Yeah, but that's like what we were saying in one of those other episodes where like some of these other, like some
One of the other
Beatles
episodes in our
songs
catalog?
and yeah, some of the Beatles songs, what was his name?
Oh, here we go. This is going to happen in every episode where we're just like, who's
what
that
was
guy?
it with the plane crash with the Big Bop and the song that was written about
Eddie
them?
Eddie,
American Pie.
yes, but who's?
American Pie.
Oh, well, yes, that song itself.
Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
that was another song where I think you referenced saying like, I can't believe this song is this old because it's like a song that I grew up with.
Right. There are some songs that just
They're
are timeless.
Yeah.
And when, like, I love when you're at a bar, like, for example, the Gladstone back in the day, where
in the
you'd
day.
have people from all age groups there, and you'd still see the young people singing along to that song.
Yeah.
Why are you making
Okay.
that face?
Something that we have not touched on.
Okay.
We'll have to do this for another episode.
What?
Our karaoke.
We have talked about it.
Did we?
We have talked about going to the Gladstone for karaoke.
No. Karaoke at Terra.
Oh, that was.
Because we are going to have to release a clip from that.
We are going to have to release a clip.
That was ridiculous. Okay.
That was
you know what?
mm-hmm.
Karaoke at Terra, we're going to hold that for the next episode. We'll talk about the next episode because there's a lot to unpack from that. All right. So what's another song you have?
I had those two. And then I saw all these songs with the word Queen in it. And I was like, don't know it. I just want to talk about the band Queen. But Mike doesn't want to talk about the band Queen.
I have another song.
Okay.
And it's Royals by Lorde, 2013.
Oh, that's a great song. Did not cross my radar because it doesn't have Queen in the title.
It doesn't have it in the title, but it does have it in the lyrics.
Be royal.
Royals.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and we'll never be royals. You missed it.
Oh,
okay. And we'll never be royals.
Royals.
It don't run in our blood. The kind of luck's just ain't for us. We crave a different kind. Okay, my cadence is off on this, but it's like we'll never be royals.
Mm-hmm.
It don't run in our blood. That kind of luck's it ain't for us. We crave a different kind of buzz.
The kind of luck's it ain't for us. We crave a different kind of buzz.
Let me be your ruler.
Ruler.
You can call me Queen Bee.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, I'll rule. I'll rule, I'll rule, I'll rule. Let me live that fantasy. Do you know what that song's about?
No.
It's about a critique of the mainstream pop culture and how like there's this obsession around acquiring luxury and just buying things and this kind of presentation of like this is what pop culture is all about. It's about owning stuff, and so it was her critique of it. So we'll never be royals.
Does that mean she was rebelling against that version of pop stardom?
So she doesn't see herself in that
light.
So from this article I read, Lorde expresses a sense of detachment from the extravagant lifestyles often portrayed in music and media, particularly in hip hop and rap.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
She instead celebrates the simple pleasures and experiences of her own life, rejecting the pressures to conform to societal expectations. The song's message of individuality and authenticity resonates with young people who feel alienated by the unattainable ideals often presented in popular culture.
Excellent reading, Mike.
I know.
You only stumbled twice.
Oh my God.
I'm so
I'm
proud of
terrible.
you.
It's terrible. So, but I thought that was like, yeah.
Because I remember when she came out and she was huge, right? Like when she first came out with that song. And then I thought she just sort of disappeared. But she has continued to make music. She has a song out right now.
Yeah, but she's not like, in the media all the time.
Right, she keeps a low
courting.
profile.
Yeah. Well, this had me thinking when I was thinking about these songs.
Okay.
And then I was thinking about our long weekend coming up.
Yes.
Do you have a long weekend or a vacation playlist?
Oh.
And if you don't.
No, I don't.
What would be on your long weekend playlist?
Oh my God. Taylor?
Of course.
You need more people?
Just Taylor's whole catalog.
I have actually listened to Taylor's, there's one playlist that has all Taylor Swift songs chronologically, which I thought is fascinating. And I have listened to that.
Is that like on Spotify or something?
I think that was on Apple Music because that's what I have now. Gosh, there would be so much on it. But I have to say that if you had asked me that question 6 months ago before we did this podcast, my answer would probably be very different. Because I feel like I've rediscovered a lot of bands and singers that I've loved over the years because of the podcast.
Oh, nice.
Have you not? Do you not feel like that?
Yeah, I have. I have taken a trip down memory lane.
Like if beforehand, I probably wouldn't have had a lot of Duran Duran on there. U2, the people who sing Shout, let it all out. Who's that? Tears for Fears. Like, so a lot of the bands that I grew up loving, I probably wouldn't have had.
Oh, so like there'd be like a 80s
although
retro
I
vibe to it.
often listen to 80s playlists, but if I were creating my own playlist, it might not have had that. But now I feel like it would have a really good mix of 80s, current hits, country, because I love me some country.
You love you some country.
Yep. Did you put emphasis on cunt?
No.
Okay. Anyways, I would also have probably some jazz, some R&B from the 90s.
So a real eclectic mix.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty eclectic.
Well, there are some like Apple and Spotify and these streaming services.
Yeah.
They do actually offer
I'm sure they do.
long weekend mixes or vacation mixes.
Do you have one?
I don't have one actually, but I was thinking about what would be the tone of the mix for me.
Mm-hmm. Would you have just one tone for the whole weekend though?
No, I think my long weekend playlist would be a variety of so there'd be some like dancey stuff, there'd be some kind of like mellow like
walk
really
me through
kind of
it.
chill.
So in the morning, what are you listening to?
Okay, so I probably would be listening to something a little not like super mellow, but something that kind of like you're waking up and it's kind of giving you a little bit of like, shaky.
Okay. Like
Get you
what?
going.
Any specific song or artist? Okay.
So it'd be like pop music that I can sing to, like probably Taylor Swift
Right.
and things like that not dance music. But, I could tell you a couple of songs that I was thinking of if I had a playlist.
Yes, please.
One of them would be that I love this song, You're on Your Own, Kid.
Yeah, I love that song.
That's from Tortured, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She released
You're
so
on
many
your
albums.
own, kid.
Yeah. Always have been.
I love that song.
And it's got a real good cadence to it. Yeah.
Do you know what? Actually, I have different alarms set up for different times that I wake up weekends or if there's a special thing I have to wake up for. And did you know that on your phone you can pick a song for
Oh my
your
God,
alarm?
really?
Mm-hmm. So I have like Bejeweled
Oh my God.
and Fearless
Yeah.
because they have like nice ways
Are they
to start.
all Taylor? There's no shame.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I
Oh,
only
that's
have
good.
like 3 alarms scheduled.
okay.
So
So-
yes, they are all Taylor. Although for a time there I had Pink Pony Club. on one
Oh,
of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yes. So, okay. So that song would have been on your list. And what was the other? You said you had a couple of songs in mind.
I like a little bit of Robin. She's
Okay,
got a good
yes.
mix of like some of it's dancey and some of it's a little more vibey. I don't know what the right word is. It's not, it's kind of like, it's dancey,
This
but
song's
it's more
to
like
bop
groovy.
to, but to groove to, yeah.
Absolutely love Noah Khan.
I know you do.
So I
Stick
would
season.
have, so I'd have some Noah Khan in there. But I got to tell you, one of the albums that I would be a great long weekend album is called, it's by Stars and it's called From Chapelton Hill.
Okay.
And it was released a couple of years ago. I think it was recorded during the pandemic. And it's a great album where it just like covers, it's just like a good, easy listening kind of album that has some, it's like some more upbeat songs and some,
More chill vibes?
yeah, like chill vibes. And so for a long weekend, it's the kind of album that you would put on, open a bottle of wine,
Right.
just kind of enjoy your space, enjoy the time, have a great
Yeah.
time on the weekend sort of thing.
I think I would have some Sheryl Crow on my long weekend list.
That's a good, yeah.
Now I want to make me a long weekend playlist.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do that. See, so here's what I do. Like on Saturdays and Sundays, if I'm up in the morning and if I'm just, I was going to say if I'm just diddling around the house,
Oh,
and I did not mean to use that term, but if I'm just futzing around the house,
yeah.
I usually listen to some jazz.
Oh, yeah.
I like a sort of a groovy, jazzy vibe to begin the day, like no lyrics, sometimes just music. And then as the day progresses, if I'm like cooking or something, then I'll put on some Taylor or some pop or
Yeah.
or something. But then in the evening, if I'm having friends over or something, I'd probably put on like some Sia, with that song, Cheap Thrills.
Oh, yeah.
Like I love that song just to kind of get get my energy up and all. But now
Yeah.
I feel like we should both create some long weekend playlists and then we can talk about it next time and
Right.
see what's who made the cut.
All right. Well, little listeners, you're listening to this after the
The long weekend.
long weekend in Canada for those Canadian little listeners.
Yes, so little listeners, tell us who's on your playlist. Who would you put on your long weekend playlist? Even though
Yes.
this long weekend is over. Let's
Yeah.
look forward to Canada Day.
Yes. So slide into our DMs.
Yeah.
Send us an email.
All the shit we said at the beginning.
Yeah.
And also, you know what else you could do that would make us so happy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, if you just like, subscribe, follow, share, or even just do one of those.
Yeah. Tell us what you think about this episode. Tell us what you think about this podcast. We'd love to hear from you.
Don't forget to send us your rants.
All right. Thank you very much for listening to Life in the Lyrics, and you will hear us next Wednesday.
That's right. Life in the lyrics. He missed a word.
Life is
drinking.
in the lyrics.
He be drinking.
Bye.
Gin and Dubonnet. Ta-ta. Tally-ho.
Cheerio.